Hello friends, it's Lynn Como and I'm going to be unveiling my next Kit of the Month, which will be an online event to be held Sunday, October 20th. But don't worry, if you already have plans, you can still attend because everything will be recorded. Now, it's been a while since we've had a nice masculine kit. No flowers, I promise, on this one. But you'll see that we are going to be using Take to the Sky Suite Collection. And I want you to think a little bit outside the box when you see everything I share with you. First, let's just go over some of the components that come inside the suite. We have the stamp set, which is a cling, a rubber stamp set, the die cuts that coordinate, the trinkets that are really adorable, these metal trinkets, and the paper pack. So let's get a closer look of what it is. So here you have your stamp set. And I always put my little extra details in there. And then I love the die cuts. There's some extra die cuts in here that do not have a coordinating stamp, such as this nice big airplane and the propellers that you see here. And the arrow, which is great for journaling or for pulling a banner behind an airplane. So you'll see how we'll use that. Loving the clouds and the airplanes. And for those of you that love to make cards, you can definitely use the different sayings in here. Oh yes, and I forgot to mention, this is a really great background stamp, like these metal rivets of an airplane, right? But it's really so cool. These are the industrial trinkets. Let's see if I can open them without dropping them. So you'll see they have two sides to it. You have a nice lined star side and then a flat side, kind of reminding you of a rivet on the plane, right? So you get twice as many as this. I've already used half a load. And let's look at the papers. So there's lots of great patterns in here. We have the airplanes, which flips over to this blue map. I love the clouds, a gray plaid. We have the planes with the copper clay plaid. And you'll see I might have them a little bit mixed up here. There's two of those. I love the green map. This map is fabulous, as well as this color blue, Night of Navy blue lined paper. And we also have the green planes. And this is my gray brick paper. I love naming the papers as I try to create the cutting guide. And then you also have a pattern sheet. This is also the pattern sheet that you get two of. So one side flips over to the map. We're going to be using partial, and one of them we're going to cut completely apart and use lots of the pieces, pretty much all of the pieces. So we're really utilizing both sides in this collection. So I love that. They're like Picture My Life cards that we have used with the 6x4 and 3x4. And then you have these great tags also. Really fun. Now, when it comes to cardstock, you need the White Daisy. Get the 24 pack. We're using about 15 sheets of White Daisy. And neutral cardstock. The neutral cardstock, we'll be using all of the blues, all of the browns, the greens that you see in here, the pecan pie that's in here, all the grays, and we'll be using quite a bit out of here. So these are the components of what we'll be using to make all of the pages. Just so you know, the suite is $74 and you'll get the coordinating, the paper pack, the trinkets, the die cuts as well as the cling stamp set. The White Daisy and neutral cardstock are extra. Now, one other thing that I wanted to bring your attention to is that I will be using these wonderful dies. These are your perennial postage dies, and you get so many in here. One of the tips that I make or suggest is take some cardstock and just cut a whole bunch of dies. This way you can see when you're using them on any project what size they are and how you can use them. This one right here will actually give you a nice little tag hole, so we'll be using that as well. And this one right here doesn't cut, but it gives you like a postage stamp look. So that's cool. Quite a few dies. I think it's 12 that are in here. And we're using all of them pretty much. Yep, great set. Okay, so let's look at pages 1 and 2. So in this video, I'm going to just show you pages 1 through 4. There'll be another video, which will be 5 through 8, and another video, 9 through 12. We're making 12 gorgeous pages. Okay, pages 1 and 2 are really fun. I'm also using, for those of you who have some shimmer brushes, I'm using the Mist shimmer brush to give it a little bit of a splattered background, but we're also stamping that textured metal look in the background very lightly with some gray. I'll be using a couple of different inks, mink, charcoal, but you have smoky slate, granite gray, and classic gray for Stampin' Up! Ink pads that you can use. Loving all the papers and using those tags, and I'm stretching this tag so it makes one long strip behind here. And now look at that plane. It's splattered, it's slightly stamped, it's sponged. We're adding those details and it makes such a difference. Flying by to say hi is really a cute saying, or I'm going to give you a couple of different ideas on titles. But now you can see how I'm using those postage dies to create photo wells here as well as here and here. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that you can't read right now or see, but we'll be having fun with paper. Here's another one of those tags, and now you can see how those clouds are stamped. And I'm using coloring pencils to color them in, and I will have the list on the shopping list. I created a little pocket so you can even do some journaling or add some 2x2 photos on there as well. Now, did you catch my video where I showed you how I did the wild and free, or how I created this really cool look using the swirly folder? This embossing folder is so swirly, and it's a 6x8, and we're using it in a couple of different places. So you'll enjoy it. You can use whatever stamp set you have. I will have a list of what I'm using. This is Moxie. But what I wanted to mention to you is either you can change this out to a Cricut cut, die cut, and also use the swirl to give it some textured. But this would be a page that you can do personalities, right? You can do the men in your life, the boys in your life. This could be graduation. It doesn't have to have anything to do with flying or travel, but you could have, you've got personality here. And then maybe, do a little journaling as far as what kind in the photos, if it's courage, if it's bravery, if you're fun, if laughter, you're a joker, whatever it is. So think beyond of what you're seeing me place here. This was just an idea, but I could also use this for travel. Maybe you are going up in an airplane. Maybe it's your first time. Maybe you're doing some kind of a trip or an excursion. What about when the planes come overhead? They're the Blue Angels. You have an opportunity to create this layout as you see, but use it the way you want with your own title for the photos that you have in mind. And I love that. And you can also see here how I'm using those metal, I'm going to call them rivets, right? Trinkets as well. Now, are you wondering about those threads? Well, for those of you who did Seaside Wishes with me, you're in luck. Grab that bag of the in colored jute trim for $23.25, and we'll be using this as well just to add some of those threads. You will not need a second pack. So I'm hoping that you're really enjoying the possibilities when you're seeing what we're doing with that postage die here. I'm actually cutting them out of this sheet of white, using them here and backing it up with blue. It's a very clever way of adding some paper without having to do a lot more work. But this is truly special, creating this die cut look and texture on this stamp. So you should try to catch the video that I created to show you how. Loving pages 3 and 4. Isn't this so cool? We're really stepping out of the comfort zone here. I'm using a white background and then I'm cutting our frame of gray in order to get even more cuts out of the paper. You're going to really appreciate all the different things that I do to help you save money on cardstock or photo mats. But isn't this adorable? These 2x2s. And here you can see I'm using that smaller postage stamp, and I did that little embossing with that little stamp that's inside that die cut kit right here. We have that beautiful plain again, and that's using part of that Picture My Life card that I showed you. Now, Gone Exploring, Be Right Back. This could actually be anything you want it to be. Your title could be whatever, right? This could be masculine. This could be about somebody in your life, one of the guys in your family. This could be your travel adventure. So you can see I did Let's Go and See the World. What's really cool about the die cuts is you get the plain, you get this bracket, as well as this label for you could journal whatever you want on each of these. So the plain is actually pulling the message across, which is really so much fun. And you'll see we're cutting this paper too in order to create even more with the insert that we cut out. But you can see I stamped the planes, I colored them in with pencils, and you can see how I did the clouds, which are sponged a little bit. We're also going to be doing a little bit of water brushing on some of the pages. But now you can see how I'm using that label die cut to create journaling opportunities as well. Now, for those of you who have those cool little neutral sequins, I just pulled out some of the white ones to add to this page as well. Love these sequins. We've been using them lovingly also with Seaside Wishes. And I'm on my second sheet for some of the colors, but you just need some white and you don't need another set if you did Seaside Wishes with me. So those are our 2 pages, our 4 pages so far. Love the 2x2 squares, the cool look that you're getting here. These are 4x4 squares and the opportunity to make this what you like. But let's just think about some titles that you can have on some of these pages. Above the Clouds, On Our Way, Up, Up and Away, The World Awaits, Explore, Great Outdoors, Dream On, Soar to New Heights, Go, See, Do, Take Off on a New Adventure, a new journey into a new home, Going Places, Away We Go. The one I like too is Hanging Out, you know, an airplane hangar, hanging out, could be another one. Soaring to Success. So I hope this gives you some ideas. Stay tuned for the next video, which will be showing you the next set of pages. Now this is really a manly layout. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Plain crazy. I was thinking about what kind of a title could we use for a guy who is, you know, a jokester. It could be plain silly. It could be plain nuts, or whatever you want it to be. Change your title however you want it to be. Maybe it is about somebody. Maybe it's about somebody in the Army. These colors work so well for that too, with the gray and the green. So let's go over these details. We are using, once again, the So Swirly embossing folder to create this really cool swirl look on the paper. It just adds a nice textured tone to it. You'll see that I used that airplane, so I really wanted to point that out to you, that in this box, the die cuts, this big plane I use quite a bit. I really love what you can do with it, and I'm using the smaller planes as well. You'll see them here. Don't forget that I'm adding that postage, perennial postage die cuts. using this throughout the pages. So have fun with this. This is something that's an essential in your craft stash. Now, when it came to the title, I really wanted something that was fun. And this was one that was called the Outline Alphabet Set, but you can make this whatever you want. And it gives you an outline as well as a solid. So here you can see how I'm using the paper. The mossy green and these grays work so well together for a masculine layout. So who's playing crazy in your household? Who do you know? Or what title can you think about that you could use for this? Once again, you can see we're sponging. I'm using that map paper. Remember we talked about this paper here? Well, you'll see right here is this airplane, so we're cutting it down, but that map paper is on the back side. So you want to pay attention to how we cut this for these pages. Once again, we have that postage die cut. We have our planes, which I'm coloring in with pencils. So that's really making it super easy to color in, and most of you have them already. And remember how I did a cutout on one of the pages? Well, now you can see it right here being used for some photo options as well. Some more of those pieces that are die cut, the tags and the plane here, and just adding some more of those cute little trinkets. Here are pages 7 and 8, and I'm just loving how Take to the Sky really works so well with these colors. Here we have the Night of Navy, and you'll see that I'm using White Daisy as well, and I'm cutting my paper down in order to get the most use out of our paper, so I can also create these photo mats. We're using our perennial postage dies, and I wanted to just mention, if you happen to own Spotlight or Nature dies, we're using this one and this one. It's really kind of cool. So, or you can use a 2 3/4 inch circle, 1 1 1/8 inch circle to create the looks that you see here. So here you can see how I'm using it here and here as well as here. So I like working in odd numbers, the 3s. You can see I have my planes here, all of them here. I have my clouds, and there's a little bit of sponging. And if you're wondering, I'd go anywhere with you. This is stamped, and for those of you who have the Let's Go Anywhere card making stamp set, that's where I got it from, which also has this cute little stitched heart going here as well as here. But you can definitely make this whatever you want. These could be your journaling places as well. You can do your titles, you can do your dates, the place that you're visiting, who's in the photos, so you can utilize it that way if you don't have something like this. Or look through your stash and see what it is that you'd like. Now I'm using a little bit of the water painter brush, the water brush, to just brush in a little bit of the blue on these pages, just to add it to a little bit of the clouds, and sponging a little bit here as well in the sapphire blue or Night of Navy blue. Love the little circles that we're doing, and I had a bunch of them done down here as well, just for a little effect. But you're going to really enjoy using those perennial postage dies to create the look here, as well as 4 of them here in this area. Once again, I'm using that label die cut for journaling opportunities, and just some strips of paper to create a really fun look and have photo mats that go both vertically and horizontally. Think about what you would use this for. Would this be travel? Would this be masculine? Would this be somebody in your family? Would this be all about boys? How about brothers? What about best friends? Maybe it's even somebody in your family who loves to play games, game night, and they're, airplanes happen to be a part of that. So that's pages, this is pages 7 and 8. So make sure you mark the date, October 20th. I hope you'll join the online event. We've got a lot of prepping to do, a lot of paper crafting to do and cutting, and you're just going to love learning the different ways of how I use the paper and help you save at the same time. Hi there, it's Lynn again, and I'm on the last video to share with you for Take to the Sky, masculine, travel, and really fun, fabulous pages. Today I'm going to showcase pages 9 through 12 with you, and I'm focusing on a little bit different look for these pages. I absolutely love the colors that I'm using here and the different stamps. Now these are optional for you. You can check your stash to see if you have something else you can use, but for those who love the artwork and love what I'm doing, let me just go on a little bit more about what we're adding. This is The Greatest Adventure. This is a great stamp set, and I just love this train. This train is gorgeous. And I can think of opportunities for any kind of adventures with family and kids that you can use. You can also use this for a celebration because as congratulations, here's to happiness ahead. So these could be for retirement. You could make cards with some of these, or if you needed a scrapbook page for somebody that's retiring, I think you could find this. And good luck on your new adventure. Love this train. You're going to love the way it gets stamped. I'm also going to be using Forever Forest. Now there's a die cut that's sold separately from the stamp set, which is a cling stamp set, but I did a video, if you want to check it out, on all of this stuff with the ink pads. But it's just beautiful. I can't wait to show you. I'm also using the mountains here, a little bit of these clouds, all the trees, and really having fun stamping and die cutting. What I'm also adding are the Mossy Meadow ink pads as well as pecan pie on these pages. So you can check to see what you have or make a purchase for these inks as well. Show you, these are the colors that I am focusing on. These beautiful clouds, this green map paper, and this copper clay plaid on the next set of pages. We have 9 and 10. I can't believe it. Look at this train. Is that not gorgeous? We don't have to stamp everything in black. We can pick our colors. So I just chose to do the brown, the pecan pie, which matches the framework, which I'm also going to be cutting out and using those pieces to create my photo mats. Now look at those mountains. Do you see how detailed they are from the die cut? So we're using the mountains from that die cut, and then you can see these gorgeous trees as well. Here's one of those pieces of Picture My Life card, in a way, that we cut out, and I have a little embossed image, and I'm stamping Discover the World. So if you're wondering, where are these from? Remember I mentioned this to you in a previous video? Life's Adventure is waiting out there, and Discover the World is stamped in that Mossy Meadow green. So cool. So this is something I would put in a flip flap so I can either journal or add more photos. We do sell 4x3 flip flaps. Here's those beautiful trees. We have a little bit of stamping in the background using gray ink, as well as splattering with the pecan pie with a water brush, just creating little splatters in that background. You'll see some of the little bit of that postage stamp. And remember those sequins. Love this color sequin. These really cool copper sequins that are dark. I'm using them as well. These are from the Neutrals collection. So just a couple of them here and there to create these beautiful pages. So yeah, I do see travel here, but you know what? We also can travel right in our own backyard. We have the opportunity to go up a mountain, right? The Cog Railway, if you live in New Hampshire, maybe you have something like that where you live and you could see. But I also took that 2x2 that is stamped right here. So we're just using a piece of that stamp rather than the whole thing. I fussy cut this out. There is no thin cut for it. You just hand cut it yourself. But we have that same great look going across. But even if you're traveling out west, I don't know. I just can think of a couple of things with the trains, right? Maybe the rail trail. Another one is biking, and you'll see that on the next one. Thomas the Engine. I think I can. Traveling on a train. Maybe you're doing the Orient Express. Maybe you're in Europe. Maybe you're taking trains from here, there, and everywhere. The Polar Express. You can use this train around Christmas time. Any excursions with travel on a train. railroad tracks. Think about it. What else can you think of that you can use these trains for also with this layout? And you could also put a title up here if you'd like, but I just love the way it is all by itself. I hope you do too. The next set of pages will also incorporate some of this, again, our darker color, as well as this really great gray brick paper. So let's check out our last set of pages, which are 11 and 12. And now I'm using the cardstock that is the darkest brown, espresso, right? So here we have a little bit of stamping from the trees with some with gray ink, a little paper tearing here. Enjoy the ride. Okay, we do bicycle rides that are on a trail, so it's kind of nice that I could actually use this for that. But these are such great masculine pages. I also created a pocket, but it's here, and using those tags this way, you could either add more photos, journal some of the details. You could put it on the back if you'd like, whatever you want right there. Here, let's check out this close-up. This is stamped in charcoal ink, or you could use basic gray. I used a little bit of that swirly piece. Here are my trees. Now my trees are stamped, as well as those other die cuts are added, a little bit of clouds. And now you see the So Swirly embossing folder in the background with a little bit of sponging, and then the perennial postage to add a little bit extra detail. I'm tearing paper here as well. And this is great for a 5x7, but you can easily make this into 2 photo wells or a smaller photo well for 4x6. Love, enjoy the ride, which is stamped over here. Are you wondering where I got that? Well, for those of you who have previous stamps of the month, it is in the outdoor borders. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the ride. But there's a lot of great stamps in here that you could use in place of enjoy the ride. Or check your stamps to see what you own that you can use. I love the swirly here, what it's doing. I love adding that little postage stamp, those copper sequins, the little bits of detail popping up my title here. Those trees are just gorgeous, and just having fun with the torn paper. And these colors are amazing together. Well, there you have it. These are all of our pages for Take to the Sky. Great masculine set of pages, travel, adventure, retirement, traveling on the train, flying in the air. It can be a great array of things. Even if you don't use them all right now, it's something that you can save and use later on, and you'll be happy you have the pages done. I hope you enjoyed all of the artwork that I shared with you, and excited to do my online event, which will be held Sunday, October 20th. From 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern, but everything will be recorded. All the details will be on my blog at lynncomo.com with a shopping list and registration. Hope to see you there.